Hey guys, welcome to a very, very special episode of the Cinema Wise podcast. It's not going to be like our regular show today. We're going to do a holiday list for you. I have done these in the past, but this is the first time that we're doing it on camera and with a panel today. So today, joining me, we have our wonderful co-host that will be joining us most of the time on the actual Cinema Wise podcast, and that's going to be our buddy Matt Jeeb right here. How you doing, buddy?
What up? Doing good, man. Always glad to be here.
Good. And we actually have our engineer today, so I'm not working everything, and I can actually, focus on strictly hosting. We've got our engineer, Ray, showing up. What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
I'm great, Ryan. How are you?
Good.
Thanks for
Glad to
having
have
me.
you here. Always. All right, so we're going to jump into this. It's going to be 5 days till Christmas, 25 movies. We're going to talk about them and take all three of our lists, combine them, and make the Cinema-Wise list for you guys. So we're going to start from December 1st, and as we go up, you'll probably find movies that we like the most closer to Christmas. So we're going to let Matt G kick it off for us. What do you have on December 1st for us, buddy?
I'm actually going to start it off with a fight here. My number 25 movie is going to be Die Hard.
That's definitely higher on my list.
That is higher on my list as well, Ryan.
Okay, so we'll save the discussion for that. So, Ray, why don't you go? What do you have on the second?
Sure. So on the second, I have Miracle on 34th Street.
Isn't he still in the first one?
Oh, yeah, you have something different as your first one. So what's your first one?
Oh, my first one is Jack Frost.
Not on my list.
Not on my list either. We're good.
That was a little bit of a throwaway, I'll be honest.
Yeah, it's going to get kicked because it's not on either of our lists, but that's okay.
Yeah.
No worries.
That's perfect fine.
Top 10 really matters on my list anyways.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's the fighting will come down to the top 10. So for my first, I have a brand new movie that's coming out, so I haven't seen it yet, but I would suggest going to see it, and that's Last Christmas with Emilia Clarke. I think it's worth giving it a holiday shot. I love her as a person, and everything that she's done, I just wanted to get more work. Is that on anybody else's list?
No, I mean, I thought we were only listing movies we've seen, so.
No.
You didn't listen to the breakdown,
I know.
as usual.
I'm a
Right?
bad person. I'm
Ray's
sorry.
not a good
All right.
listener.
So what do you have on the second?
So for the second one, I have The Nightmare Before Christmas.
That is my 3.
Ray, what do you got for your second one?
My second, I have
You already told us. The
Yeah.
Miracle.
Miracle
on
on
34th?
Miracle on 34th.
That is higher for me.
Okay. So on the second for me, I have Batman Returns.
Not on my list.
It's okay to be wrong.
You're obviously. All right, so moving along. This is the third day, right?
Yeah, third day.
Third day, I have The Family Stone.
Not on my list.
I didn't
Not on
see
my
it.
list.
Okay.
And I had Nightmare Before Christmas at 3 for you keeping track. So what's your 3?
My 3 is Mickey's Christmas Carol.
I can respect that.
Um,
I think there's better Christmas carols out there.
I was going to say I have a different version of it higher up on the list, but yeah.
I have 2 or 3 different versions higher on the list. Not
Okay.
to give my list away, but
Right.
So we're going to 4 now.
Yep.
Yes.
So my 4 is The Grinch, the one from 2018.
The one we were just watching.
Yeah, the one that was produced by Illumination.
Yeah.
After watching a little bit of it, I kind of wish I went with either the classic to bump that one up, but I didn't put that one out there because I'm sure one of you have that higher on your
yours
list.
is not. Though this one, the new one, is not on my list.
Oh, I probably should have said that Nightmare Before Christmas was higher on my list.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's fine.
Okay, so you got to keep track of that.
So next for me is going to be Bad Santa.
Not on my list because I knew one of you would have it.
Higher on my list.
That's higher on your list?
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm not huge on it. What's your fourth day there, Ray?
My 4th day is Jingle All the Way.
That's the one we're talking about with Arnold Schwarzenegger? Or no?
Yeah.
Higher.
That's higher on your list.
That's
Not
higher
on my
on the
list at
list.
all. Not on my list at all.
So that means we're to 5.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so my 5 is a very Harold and Kumar 3D Christmas.
Not on my list.
Higher on my list.
I'm gonna start a fight, even though we'll wait till later because I'm sure this movie is probably much higher on your guys' list. But I've never even seen it, but I've heard so much about it. I thought I might as well throw it on my list. Elf with Will Ferrell.
Are you fucking kidding me?
That's a travesty, Matt.
I've never seen it, so I have it pretty low on my list. So
higher.
I've got that.
Way higher.
Higher.
That is easily.
What are you doing?
I apologize. I don't mean to talk over the main, but
No.
that's easily top
How
3.
have you not seen Elf?
Elf is
Never
a
seen it.
juggernaut in a Christmas movie list.
Well, I guess what I know you're watching next week for the show. We're going to do Elf.
All right, Ray. What's next on your list?
God, we got our Christmas episode already freaking set because there's one you're going to have the same reaction for me for. So go ahead. What's your 5?
My 5 is Krampus.
Not on
Did
my
not make my list, but I highly enjoyed that one.
I actually did see it. I seen parts of it. Didn't make my list though.
So I didn't really think it was scary or anything at all, but I enjoyed
No,
the
but
movie.
I like the concept of it. It
Mhm.
was
Yeah.
a pretty good film.
I thought for like a horror film for Christmas time, I thought they did it pretty well.
Yeah, I think it was well worth the $7 I paid when I went to go see it. So my 6 is Mickey's Twice Upon a Christmas.
Not on my list.
Not on my list. Never seen it. I don't think.
It's like 4 or 5 short stories put together into one movie, and they're all Christmas related. It's pretty good. It's when Disney went to the new animation style, the 3D animation instead of the 2D with Mickey.
I got you. Next on my list is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Higher. Or wait, what number is that?
6. That's my 6th day of Christmas. 6th day of the Christmas.
I have that at 9. On the 9th.
So that's not far off.
Not far off.
Do you have that on your list at all?
Not
Ray?
on my list, but I'll put that as
Could have made it.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a super huge fan of Christmas Vacation. I like parts of it, but some parts of it are really dull for me.
European Vacation is probably my favorite, actually. It's the first one I saw. Anyways, day number 6 for you, Ray. What do you got? Did we go 6 or 7?
Day number 6
We're
for
on
me
6. Yeah.
is Scrooged.
Higher.
Higher.
Definitely higher.
Definitely higher. for me.
My 7, because I already did my 6, is Miracle on 34th Street. The 1994 version with John Hammond, We Spare No Expense.
Mine is slightly higher.
Okay.
Not much, but it is higher.
Okay. What's your 7?
I've got the claymation Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Higher.
Mine is the 2018 Grinch.
Okay. Where do you have Rudolph? Is that higher?
Higher.
So we'll find
So
out
we're at
later.
8, which is where my Jingle All the Way was.
Okay.
Does anybody have it higher than that?
I do not even have it on my list
Why?
because I've never seen it.
You never saw Jingle All the Way?
Nope.
It's pretty good for an Arnold Schwarzenegger family film. I think it's pretty decent.
I liked
Is
it.
Sinbad in that movie?
Yes, he plays a mailman, and they team up, and they're both fighting for an action figure to go get
Right.
their son.
Right.
So they end up teaming up and being against each other at the same time because
Right.
they're trying to get this. It's pretty funny. There are some parts that'll make you laugh out loud, and then
A lot
The
of
re-
like slapstick humor in it.
yeah. But it's decent. That's why I have it at 8. It doesn't break my top 10, but it's one of my favorites. So what do you guys have at 8?
In number 8, I did another claymation classic of Frosty the Snowman. Higher.
Higher.
Yes,
Yeah.
have that higher.
Definitely
both
higher.
Of you?
Mine's
Frosty higher. So what do you have at your 8?
Polar Express.
Polar Express didn't make my list because I knew one of you guys would have it.
I have it higher.
I did not enjoy that movie as much as everybody else
I have
did.
Polar
I
Express
understand
higher.
why people love it, but it just
I don't love it as much as a lot of people, but there are certain scenes and things in the movie that really get me,
Hit
and that's
the
why,
right buttons for you.
and that's why
Yeah.
it's higher up for me.
yeah. I mean, overall the film didn't do it for me, but I do agree there are certain scenes within that movie that hits those emotional buttons just right, just the way you want them to.
Yeah.
I just wish that, as much as this movie is beloved by a lot of people and people hype it up, I would have loved to see that for the entire film.
Right. For me, it was just, it's a film that I've watched a lot during Christmas time.
Yeah.
So it was just a lot of memories. So
All right, so that puts us at 9.
Yep.
My 9 was Christmas Vacation.
My 9 is an old classic, and I've actually only seen it once. White Christmas, Bing Crosby, and
Not on my list.
Not on my list.
It's not on either one of your lists. Yeah, I saw it once with this girl, and I actually really enjoyed it. They were like traveling musicians or something along those lines.
Yeah.
It's good. I liked it.
What do you have at your 9? Right.
Gremlins.
Higher.
Higher.
Slightly higher. Slightly
I
higher.
have Gremlins higher.
So that goes to my 10, which is The Night Before, with Anthony Mackie, Seth Rogen, and what's
French?
his-
No, that's the other
what's
guy.
his
from,
name?
Joseph.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yes, I was gonna say the guy.
Not
from
actually
Habit.
on my list.
Yeah, I didn't,
I've seen it though. I
haven't
actually kind of
seen it,
forgot
so I
about it.
didn't put it on my list.
Another one that's worth the watch. Got some really funny moments, and then some of the points fizzle for me, but it's still enjoyable when you watch it.
Wait. Am I doing my next? Or are you next?
You're on your 10 because I
On
just
my
did
10.
my 10.
Miracle on 34th Street.
Okay, so you have it at the highest. out
The
of
newer
all of us.
version. I actually find the older version, Santa Claus, a little bit creepy. So
So you like 94 with
yeah.
John
And
Hammond,
the cute little girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Jurassic Park.
Yes.
All right, so what's your 10, Ray?
Batman Returns.
Oh, you had it that high. All right.
I enjoyed it.
Not on my list. It was one of my least favorite Batman movies.
Really, you didn't like Returns?
No.
Is it because of Penguin or?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
because of the characters. I didn't like Penguin. I didn't like Catwoman.
Oh, I think you're smoking crack on Catwoman. but
I wasn't big on that movie at all.
Catwoman's great in that movie.
You know, I don't know. It wasn't one of my favorite Batman movies. Didn't make my list.
All right, so that puts. We just did your 10. So that's my 11, and I have a Muppet Christmas Carol on the 11. I love this film.
It's a good one. I don't have that version, but I do have. You said you had multiples. I don't have that version, but I do have a version.
It's got
that-
Michael Caine in it
higher up.
as Scrooge, so
But I don't even,
for some
I'm
reason
not
it
gonna lie.
doesn't.
We'll get to that later, but that's fine.
Yeah.
So next on my list, what is it? We on 10th today?
You're on.
11th.
What was
It
your
doesn't
10?
matter. I don't even remember. I have
11.
mine ordered backwards, so it's really hard for me to tell.
Yeah, mine was backwards too. I went like 1, 2.
So yet
3.
again, so now all our viewers know that nobody listens to the host.
I'm going in order. I'm just going from highest to lowest. I ranked them from 1 through 25.
So just go backwards.
That's what I'm doing, but I don't know what day it is. All right. Anyway, the next day and the next movie I have on my list.
So the
is,
11th.
is Rise of the Guardians. It's the animated one with all the like.
Is that the owls?
What? No.
It's with like Jack Frost.
Yeah, it's
as
like
a
Jack
teenager.
Frost and
Never
I can't
seen
even
that. Have no
remember.
idea what movie you're
It's
talking
like
about.
4 or 5 different ones. The Easter Bunny is one of them. It's like Santa Claus is one of them.
This sounds like that fucked up Super Friends episode from South Park.
It's actually a great movie,
No,
and
it's
I
good.
Where they
you
had, like,
saying it
Santa Claus
reminded
and
me of how
everybody.
much I actually enjoyed that movie
Yeah,
because
it's
it was
good.
actually a great movie.
Yeah, it's animated. I would say maybe in the past 10 years, I would say it came out.
All right, well,
Yeah.
I want to
looks like it
say
might be one I have to watch.
that came out like
You think it was before that?
no, I think it came out like 2014 or something
Yeah, I
like
was going to
that.
say, it was somewhat recent. Rise of
I'm
the
the
Guardians.
engineer. Why don't I look that up?
Oh, yeah, that's a Sandman. Sandman is in it. Yeah, it's a good one. I
Yeah,
liked
Sandman
it.
was super strong in this, by the way.
Yeah.
He was awesome. He was a great character.
All right. So, Ray, what do you have for your 11th day?
So my 11th day was Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
The
The claymation version.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Higher, still for me.
Higher still.
Yeah.
You like them old claymations.
They're classics. It's kind of hard to get away.
Classics.
All right, so we're on the 12th day now, which is going to be a new movie that's coming out, and that's Black Christmas. It comes out on the 13th. You can get Thursday night showings for it, so I put that on the 12th. For a Thursday night showing, it's the one about the sorority.
Looks like a cheesy Christmas horror, and I am going to see it for sure. The next day.
So we're on year 12, right?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
What do we got?
I've got. Is that the only one on here? No, technically not really. I've got Love Actually on here.
Not on my list.
Not on my list.
I saw it with a good friend of mine, and we both really enjoyed it. And I've seen it a couple times since then. Hugh Grant was actually one of my favorites when I was
on the 12th.
On the 12th, I have Bad Santa 2.
Bad Santa 2.
Yeah.
Did they make 2?
They made 2. Not on my list
Not
because
on my list either. I didn't know they made
it was nowhere near 1, and 1 was just good for me. This one was just it just drove.
I think I put it on my list just because
It just dragged on and on and on. And
I
was
enjoyed
ready
the
to
first
get out of
one,
the
and
theater when I went and saw it.
something about Billy Bob Thornton
I like Billy
just
Bob.
does it for me.
Well, it had, a great cast around it. It had Kathy Bates and Billy Bob, so I was expecting a little bit more. The kid
Yeah, I love Kathy
returned,
Bates.
So, and then Christina Hendricks, I think, plays his love interest in that.
I like her a lot.
Yeah, can you bring up her? Because I think that's who it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's her.
So, I was excited about that.
Hello.
And it just fell flat for me. So we just did it. So yes, now we're on my 13, which is the Santa Claus, just the first one.
Tim Allen.
Tim Allen, yeah.
I'm really sad. I'm realizing that I have a movie that's really high up for me that no one else has probably seen. But okay, I
That's
just
okay.
thought of that.
That's why it's your list.
Santa Claus is not on my list. I've only seen the first one.
That's the
and I
only one worth
wasn't
watching.
Real huge on it.
That's one of my wife's favorite holiday ones, so it had to make my
I do-
list at some point.
I do like Tim Allen though. I do.
I
Like him.
love Tim Allen.
Yeah, he's good. So next on my list, which I feel like it's going to be so much higher than other people's. I'm just not that big into it. A Christmas Story. Like, I know it's a classic. I know people are obsessed with it. But A Christmas Story is
have a
not
Christmas
on
Story
your
on
list.
at all.
That is absurd.
Yeah, your list is almost null and void. So I have Christmas Story at, which would be my, once we get into the top 10, it's on the 15th, which would start out our top 10. So It's my number 10. And the reason that it is that low is because it is my father's favorite Christmas movie. So for 30 years growing up, every Christmas after we opened presents, we were forced to sit down and watch A Christmas Story. So I've seen it so many times that it has lost its charm for me because I'm not completely in love with it.
In my defense, it's still a movie I haven't finished, and it's just not a movie that I watch during Christmas. Like,
how do you not see it during Christmas?
It
It's
plays
on
for
TBS
24 hours.
24 hours.
It plays on repeat for 24 hours every Christmas.
I understand that, and I still haven't seen it
So,
all the way through.
in your defense,
so it's
Ray,
not on my list.
In your defense, Ray, I'm pretty sure, I may have been in my 20s before I saw that film. I was a grown person when I first time I saw that movie, which also is maybe a reason it's not as high up for me.
Yeah. The older you see it,
I heard it referenced for my entire life, and then I'd seen bits and pieces and clips of it for my whole life, and then it wasn't until I was probably my upper teens / younger 20s that I was like, all right, I'm actually going to catch this movie from beginning to end.
See, I haven't seen it all the way through, so that is my defense,
Well,
and it's
It's
concrete.
2019. Guess what you're doing on Christmas? It really is worth it to sit down and
It is.
watch the full way through
It's
because
funny.
even if you don't love the entire movie, there are bits and pieces that you'll catch, like he said, the references and things like that people reference to this day and will continue to reference. It's definitely one of the top Christmas classics.
It is.
Ryan, what was your 14?
Oh, we skipped my 14. My 14 was
Oh, so-
Gremlins.
Okay.
That's higher for me.
Oh yeah. We're on 13
Okay. I thought we were on, for whatever reason.
because I said it was my 10,
Gotcha.
but it's we're within 3, so we can talk about it now.
Got it.
So,
What's Ray?
yeah, what's your 13? We're on your 13.
My 13 was Frosty the Snowman. The
claymation.
the claymation
It's
version.
still higher on mine.
It's a good one. Wow.
Still higher on mine.
Wolf's all about the classics.
Well, the classics are great, you know.
I agree, but I mean, I kind of was thinking this. If you asked me
You're-
for
you're-
this list, like
Just get ready. You're
when I
about to
was
flip your
younger-
wig.
When I was younger, okay, go for it.
No, go ahead with your point.
I was gonna say, when
once
I was
reli-
younger, I was really into those movies, but I feel like as I got older, like the replay value, like I'm never gonna watch those movies again in my life, probably, unless I have like one of my nephews or something wants to watch
See,
it.
that's the difference.
Like,
I
I'm
have
probably
6 or
never gonna
7
see 'em
nieces
again.
and nephews, so I get to watch these with them and see their excitement still. So that's probably why they hold higher for me, because I still get that feeling of when I was a kid, because I'm watching them react how I remember reacting when I saw them when I was a kid. So I guess they have more of that value for me because I'm living through all my nieces and nephews, and for the next couple years, because they're like 2 years apart, so I get to just keep reliving it. And then Thais's stepdaughter and things like that. You know, I get to watch all these things. I'm surrounded by kids a lot when I watch stuff like this, so I get that value of the rewatchability for me.
Yeah, a lot of it is with the replay value with kids movies. My attention span
Yeah,
is just
it
not there
it
with
definitely drops. That's why
So-
some of them that we'll get to, or some that we have already passed. Like I put the new Grinch on there, but the old Grinch probably would have dropped for me, because the only reason I watch it is because I remember watching it as a kid. It's not the best short film
Right.
out there, but it's something that I watched every Christmas. So me not watching it on Christmas is weird for me. So,
All right. So I believe we're on the 14th day.
the 14th day, which is the last one before your top 10. I have Gremlins there.
Wait, what? Did I miss one in there? How do I have 2 left? Okay.
You good?
Yeah, I still have 2 movies though.
So
I guess-
what's
So I guess I have I must have skipped one somewhere, but I guess I have Home Alone. Before I get to my top 10, I've got Home Alone 2.
okay? You can just higher, just
way higher.
higher.
We can
So-
argue that later.
So we can argue that later.
And then I have
That's your 14. This
yeah,
is your 14.
I guess
Well, yeah.
this is my 14. A Christmas Carol, and this is what I was going to say earlier. I honestly don't know anyone that was in it. It was like one of the old versions of it.
1984.
Probably,
So
yeah.
what do you have at your 10? Because we already did my 10.
Well, how about Ray Ray? He didn't do his 13th or
Oh yeah. What's your
14th.
14th, brother? Thank you for keeping me on track.
Edward Scissorhands.
Not on my list.
Not on my list either, actually.
Do you want to talk about it?
No, I just really love the movie.
Okay, so you just wanted to include it because you love
Yes.
the movie. Okay, got it.
And
Because
yeah.
it takes place around Christmas
Around
time.
Christmas
There's
time.
snow. I think
There's-
that's the only mention of anything. So we're gonna go on. So what's your to start rounding out your top 10?
This is the meat. This is
This
what
is-
you all
this
have.
is the
this
meat.
Is
This
what
is
you're
what you
watching
wanted.
for. This is what we all are here for. The top 10.
Top 10.
My number 10, Just Friends,
Not on my list.
with Ryan Reynolds,
Not
Anna
on my
Faris.
list.
lower on my list, but that is a great movie because
How is it lower on your list and we haven't talked about it?
I don't know. Maybe it got skipped.
Yeah, we might have skipped a couple. Of
All
them
right.
then.
Well,
But
All
yeah,
right.
it's lower on my list. But I
so
love
why
that
is it your
movie.
number 10? Talk to me, Goose.
It's my number 10 because it's hilarious. I've always been a Ryan Reynolds fan. I believe it's Amy Smart is the
Yes,
lead
Amy
girl.
Smart.
Amy Smart.
is the
Love it,
co-lead.
dude. It's so funny, and it goes through a lot of progressions. Not to make it sound like to make it all deep or anything like that, but there's a lot of character growth in development. I feel like in the movie, and I think it's just number one hilarious. I'm busy. That's my favorite line. My favorite line from the movie.
Okay.
I've just always had a crush on Amy Smart, so
Yeah,
So that's
That's
why you
it.
love the movie.
yeah, that's a great
it's
movie.
a good enough reason for me.
That is, I think that's a great. I think that's a great
Hey,
reason.
it's your list, guys. No judgment over here. It's okay to be wrong sometimes. This isn't one that I've seen bits and pieces, but it was also when I was a lot younger and I was not as focused, let's say, on movies. I was more focused on females growing up at this point in my life when this movie came out. So
Just for that, just like that week the movie came out, or
no, just at that point in my life.
And then he forgot all about
movies,
the females.
Movies weren't a
so what
an
you're saying
experience.
is just-
Movies were an excuse to go make out with chicks in the theater.
Gotcha.
So I wasn't really watching the movies.
Gotcha. All right.
So this is one that I've seen bits and pieces of. Probably one I need to sit down.
Ray, what's your
number 10?
My number 10 is Harold and Kumar's Christmas.
Oh, so you had that a lot higher up.
Yeah,
than
you
we
had
did.
that a lot higher.
Yeah.
I actually had this one so low because I didn't think anybody else would have it on their list, and I thoroughly enjoyed the zaniness of it. It makes no fucking sense, but it is a good film.
It's a trip.
For zany, just off the wall, just
Right.
a good how long is it? An hour and a half? Right, it's up at the top. Right there. An hour 30 minutes.
Hour 30.
There we go.
Yeah, it's-
Hour 30 minutes in the theater
short.
where it's just off the walls redonkulous, and I really enjoyed the first two, so for them to end that series with just a off the wall bonkers Christmas movie, but it ends that from the past two movies. It takes all that, wraps it up with a nice bow. I thought it was great.
Going back to that replayability, I just think it's a hilarious movie. And during the Christmas times, this is a movie I'll play again because of how funny it is and how much I enjoy it. So
Yeah.
that's why it's so high on my list. You'll see how my list kind of forms itself. If it's hilarious,
It's higher.
it's high.
It's higher.
Okay.
It does not so much the Christmas spirit in a lot of these
Are you
movies.
sure it's
It's
not like you're high and that's why it's hilarious?
could be a mix of
But,
both, but
It's a joke.
oh,
All right.
haha, just joking.
So let's go with my 9.
Wait, what was your 10?
My 10 was A Christmas Story.
Okay.
We talked about it earlier
yeah.
because it was only within 2.
Yeah.
So my number 9, which would be on the 16th of December. Get ready to say higher. It's a Wonderful Life.
Higher for me. He knows that.
I knew that.
It's not even on Ray's list.
You guys are gonna hate me. It's not on my list.
So
Not
the
even on
reason why
Ray's
it comes
list.
in at 9 for me on the 16th is because I've never seen this movie. We've had multiple conversations of what I do, so I put it at 9 because I plan to watch it this year, and this will probably be our Christmas episode. I will make you watch Elf, and I will watch It's a Wonderful
You
Life.
better get the tissues ready, and
Ready to go.
I'm not talking about spanking your penis.
All right, this is a family show.
I said it out of the mic. I don't
Everybody still heard it.
Everyone heard it.
That's
It's
okay.
Dude,
Parents of our viewers, we expect you to be adults. Screen our episodes before you let your children watch them.
PG rated, okay?
We are,
PG rated.
I'd say
Parental
PG-13.
guidance
PG-13.
is advised.
PG-13.
PG-13.
We are adults doing adult
Films.
entertainment
Wait,
value.
sorry, that
Both
was
of you made it sound like
That
we
was-
were recording pornography.
that was the
No.
wrong word to use.
This is. We're going to talk about adult topics.
Yeah.
We are not trying to make this for children. We are trying to make this for people our age
Yeah.
that have a sense of humor. We are a comedy podcast. We make fun of each other, movies, and everything. So This is probably the last warning I'll give. Screen our content if you have children that are going to want to watch this. We expect you guys to be adults about it. All right, so not on your list. What's your number 9?
Number 9. It was already on someone else's list. Gremlins was my number 9 movie.
Okay. That's not higher for you, is it, right?
It was way lower.
Yeah,
Okay.
he already had it. I
So
think.
you had it the highest.
What did you already had it too?
Yeah. It was my. It would have been my 11.
Here I'm going Gremlins because definitely some nostalgia. Like I was a kid, like when it came out, maybe when it first came out. But it's just one of those movies that I remember watching around the holidays. And it takes place like on Christmas, during Christmas time.
It's probably the first Christmas horror movie I can think of.
Who doesn't love Gizmo? Who wasn't scared of the Gremlins? Like who, like you know what I mean? And at the end, and like they succeed and they win, and like I just thought it was great. I thought it was a great movie. I still like it. I like Gremlins 2 as well. It wasn't during the holidays, I don't think. Yeah,
I don't think Gremlins
I don't think Gremlins 2 was
was
during the holiday, but this one was definitely a Christmas movie.
Yeah, this one is definitely. I
And,
think it's one of the first
yeah,
Christmas horror movies.
I'm a little
Yeah.
sad.
What's
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I think I should have put it higher on my list after hearing what you're saying.
Well, when we combine it to the list, you're probably going to get outbid. So don't worry, you'll have a chance to make it up because we're just going through the list right now. Then we
Yeah.
still have to create the cinema-wise list, which is the end-all, be-all list of how we're going to do it.
And all be all.
So what do you have at your 9?
My 9 is Christmas with the Cranks.
Not on my list.
Not on my list.
I
Tell
didn't-
me who's in it.
I didn't put it on my list because
Hurry
I
up,
knew
pull it
one
up
of
for
you would
us.
have it. It's Jamie Lee Curtis and Tim Allen.
I just love Tim Allen and
I do too.
him with. I'm sorry, I don't really know her name. Jamie Lee Curtis. I apologize.
Dan Aykroyd too.
Just it's a family movie, and the daughter comes home, and everyone like the family gets together.
So the whole premise of the movie is that they usually throw a huge holiday party and they have this big holiday thing, but their daughter has gone away. I think college or something.
Right,
She's away,
She's away. Yeah, she's
And
at
then-
college.
and then so they say we're not going to do Christmas this year. We're going to go on a vacation.
Right, they're
just
gonna go,
us two.
They're gonna go to the Caribbean or something. Or
Yeah,
the beach. Or
and
something.
then 2 days before their trip, she calls and says, "Hey, I'm coming home for Christmas to surprise you." So then the whole movie is them trying to rush and put on that big production of that holiday party that they always have.
it's not even 2 days; it's day of.
Oh,
It's
well,
it's day of Christmas, and she's like, "Oh, I'm coming home
Yeah.
right before they leave for their trip."
so they cancel the trip and
Right.
a whole bunch of hijinks. I didn't love this film as much as my wife likes this film, so I watch it every Christmas. I knew one of you would have it on your list.
Right.
It just doesn't hit the buttons for me, but I respect it if you guys have it on your list.
So-
A lot of people love it.
It's high on my list because the sentiment from it. Like I'm an only child, so watching this as the little kid and seeing like a community come together, just this like throw this small family like this huge Christmas party, like I just loved it. So
I might have
You
to
like
watch
being
it.
selfish.
wow, that was rude. I'm kidding. I'm crying. I'm so mean.
I might have to watch it now. I've never seen it.
It's a good movie.
It's
Even if you
worth
just
a
watch it once.
Yeah,
give it a
even
look.
if you just...
It's like a
All right, so my 8,
Yes.
is that what we're looking at?
That is
Which
what
would
we're
be on
looking
the 17th of December, is you had it on lower, another version of The Christmas Carol, Scrooged.
at. That's actually higher on my list.
Higher? I can respect that.
I mean, that was one of the earliest
Okay,
days on
so
my
we'll
list.
save the conversation for later. What's your December 17th?
We already discussed it. Polar Express, actually.
Okay.
Again, just because
Lower on my list.
not that it was great, or
Not
not that I
on my
thought it was
list.
the greatest, but there was some moments that really still get me when I watch it. How about you, Ray? Number 8, 17th of Christmas, 17th December.
You're number 8.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Not on my list because I put the first Grinch on there so low.
That is slightly higher, but within 3. That's my number 5, actually.
Okay.
I love it.
Same. Love
I
it.
love that. It's one of those. It's
Just a classic. You know?
I loved it from when I was a kid, and every year I watch. Not that I watch it every year, but like every few years, whenever I watch it, it's still just as good to me. Like it doesn't get old to me. Like I
Right.
still love it. I actually, on that note, have not seen either the live action Jim Carrey
No,
or the new
I like
one.
the Jim Carrey one better than
I haven't
the,
seen
the
either
new
of the other
animated.
ones.
pretty
so
good.
this is the only one I've seen, and I very much enjoy it. I'm not a huge fan of the song, believe it or not. But
Wow, I actually
yeah.
I love that song.
Yeah, I think the song is what
it kinda
drives that
right.
film. You take that song out, you've taken half the dialogue out.
Mm.
no, I'm going to disagree,
It's okay to be wrong.
as you've proved many times.
Not very often, but we'll keep it going. So what was your 8 was
How the Grinch.
How
Stole
the
Christmas,
Grinch.
yeah.
So we're on my 7,
7.
which is on the 18th, and finally we reach Frosty the Snowman.
It's lower on my list.
Yeah, it's lower on both your lists, right?
Yeah.
So, like I said, with all my nieces and nephews watching this and watching them watch it, that's where I get the replay, and the more I watch it and watch them watch it, the more I can enjoy it. It's probably my least favorite of the classic TV movie ones, because this one isn't claymation. This one is just animation. But it's probably my least favorite of those, but I still enjoy watching it when it comes around.
All right. Yeah. I think I said claymation earlier, but I definitely was thinking the animated one.
Yeah, and Frosty's the only one that was animated. There's a couple others that were claymation. So it's a story that everybody knows. So unless you guys want to talk about it, we can move on.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, cool.
I'm good too.
So what do you have at your
Number 7,
your number
18th
7.
day of December.
Yep.
I have a Charlie Brown Christmas, because who doesn't love a Charlie Brown Christmas with his rinky-dink tree and
Not
all
on
that
my
stuff?
list.
Not on my list, but I love that movie as well.
Not on my list because I didn't enjoy it as much as
I don't think you watched it right.
probably last time I tried to watch it. I don't know. I own it on Blu-ray, but it's just one of those that once we get into the nitty-gritty, it would probably be lower on my list. I mean, it's not with.
Do you
What
remember
I wanna
watching
spend
it
my
as a
time.
child or no?
Yes, but no. I think I remember more of the Halloween one. The Great Pumpkin is probably
Of
my
course.
the Charlie Brown. If I had to pick
Yeah.
a Charlie Brown one, I would go Great Pumpkin. We didn't talk about Die
We
Hard.
didn't talk about it yet.
Yeah,
Oh.
we skipped it.
Oh.
But that's okay.
How much higher do you have it?
Um,
Too high? You want to come back to it?
no, I got 3, so we can talk about it now.
I had it number 25.
Die Hard is my 5.
Die Hard is my 7.
Okay, so we can talk about it.
Um,
You're just doing that to mess with us. I
I
know you
honestly-
love. I know you
no.
love Die Hard.
No, I don't hate it, and it's just definitely, even as just a general movie, it's never been one of my favorite movies.
Oh, I love Die Hard, man.
the
It's,
old-
it's,
like,
it's
just-
a pitch perfect.
My
action
2
movie.
favorite
Yeah.
Die Hard movies was the one with Samuel Jackson, I liked,
That's
and
3.
the one with that we talked about the other day with Tim Oliphant and Justin Long.
A good
Is Die Hard with Die Hard with a Vengeance is the one with
Die
Sam
Hard with a
Jackson.
Vengeance is Sam Jackson. A Good Day to Die Hard is the one I think you're
Yeah,
talking. Or is that the? Look up Die Hard 4. I think if you just go to the Die Hard, it should be under there. Type in A Good Day
Live
to Die.
Free or Die Hard.
No, that's the
Yeah, it was Live Free or Die Hard with Justin Long.
yeah. There we
That's
go.
the one
Yeah,
I like.
yeah.
I like that one. I
The-
like the with a
A
Vengeance.
Good
one.
Day to Die Hard is the crap one where they go to Russia. The fifth
Yeah, I haven't
one,
seen
which
that
is-
one.
Don't. It's so bad.
I don't know, man. I might have to rewatch Die Hard because
The original Die Hard.
I haven't seen it. I would say the last time I saw that movie was I was in high school.
It's It's a pitch perfect action movie, dude. It's just
maybe I need to rewatch
simple,
it. It doesn't. It
easy.
never did it for me, and I never cared to like rewatch it. And
it's Alan Rickman at
Alan Rickman
yeah,
is
his
is
final
great as
one.
Hans Gruber. Like his
People
character.
say it's
Yeah, I love it.
not a Christmas film. It definitely is. It takes place on Christmas Eve. He's going back to try and patch things up with his wife for Christmas for their kids, and he gets thrown into a situation that he's just a regular Joe, and he has to survive this situation. Great acting, great action.
Great acting.
It's just one of my all-time favorites, and I remember watching this.
that's will be on my
pretty good.
revisit list.
What, this one?
Revisit.
Yeah,
I'll revisit.
Definitely.
Die
I
Hard.
think it would be worth, because as I've grown, and I made Tiffany watch it like 2 years ago, and I just was like, damn, that's a pretty solid movie.
The principal from Breakfast Club's on there too, right?
Yeah. 6, which is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Okay. Kind of figured that was coming.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's very close. It's not going to break my top 5.
Right.
So we've already talked enough about the claymation ones. Unless there's something specific you guys want to throw in about Rudolph, we can just keep going
Okay.
for that.
Yeah, like I said, they're classic.
Yeah,
I
they're
like them.
classics.
Just-
It's everybody knows the
Yeah.
story, and it's
Yeah.
a good time to sit around with the family and watch. Usually, these are the kind of things that if I'm not sitting around with my nieces and watching them, when we have our holiday parties, they're playing in the background. So that's one of those. So let's go ahead and move on. What do you got at your 6?
So my number 6, I think you guys might argue that it's not a Christmas movie, which I will clearly destroy that argument because it really is. And one of my favorite movies, one of my favorite comedies with a couple of my favorite actors in it, Trading Places. Trading Places with Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy.
Not on my list.
One
Love the film.
Yeah, one of my favorite comedy movies. It
I
takes
just don't
place
think of
during
it-
Christmas.
Yeah,
Like they actually takes place like right before Christmas, through Christmas, and ends on New Year's Day.
I guess I'd have to rewatch it, and because I haven't watched it in
Not
a
on my
while,
list,
I
and I
would-
haven't seen the movie.
Yeah,
You've never seen Trading Places?
No.
It's definitely a good one to,
Yeah,
Really?
like I said, it's
watch. It's Eddie Murphy in his prime when he was.
maybe not
hilarious.
a Christmas movie, but the movie actually does take place for the most part through Christmas and the Christmas holiday. It's actually what causes like the main characters to be in the situations they're in. So I love
I
it.
won't fight you on it. I think it's good. It's just not
I
one
have
that
no
when
legs.
I think of it, I just
No, that's a
don't
different
think
movie.
Christmas. I just think funny comedy.
It's hilarious.
Anything you want to add to that? No. All right. So what do you have at your 6?
My 6 is not. All right, I'll be honest. I feel like I went over because I'm running out of movies here. I'm at my 4, even though you're telling me I'm at my 6.
Well, that's because you maybe
Yeah, maybe we already talked about.
Maybe.
Did you cross them off or something?
I think so.
What's your number 6 then? Wait.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh yeah, it's because we already talked
okay,
about
then,
it.
yeah.
Yeah,
we already-
Okay, then yeah, we're good.
yeah.
Or we.
Uh,
Yeah, I brought it up at.
I had it pretty
at-
low.
I had it
Okay.
pretty low, and you said higher, so
High.
we saved the
Oh,
conversation.
okay.
So what do you
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
say about
What
it?
do you want to
Gotcha.
say?
I love it.
I-
It's
I
probably
love
one of
Tim
my
Horton.
favorite musicals.
Right. And I just thought the way the movie was done was just so awesome, like so cool.
The reason why I place it lower is because I think of it more as not a Christmas movie. I think
right.
of it more as a Halloween movie, and he just, because of what he's trying to do, he wants something new, and it just so happened that he fell into he could have taken any other one. He could have done the Easter door. He could have done any of the other holidays. He just fell into the Christmas one.
Right.
And that was something new that he saw. But I think you could have taken that and put it into any one of the others, and it would have been the same story. He would have trying to take over whatever other holiday, be it Valentine's Day or anything like that.
Right.
So I consider that more of a Halloween movie, but I understand why people watch it during Christmas as well because of all the Christmas stuff. But it definitely is in the conversation for one of my favorite musicals. The music in it is phenomenal.
Just really good.
It's a fun movie.
It's a fun movie.
I only saw it one time. I might revisit it.
But
I saw it
you
once.
probably could name 6 or 7 songs out of it, even though you just saw it that one time.
I couldn't name a single one. When did this movie come out?
1993.
That's probably when I saw it. For the only time, to be honest. I've always talked about rewatching it because it's so popular and so many people like it. But yeah, I mean, if Danny Elfman's
The music is
music
phenomenal,
genius
dude. The music is
for these kinds of movies. Him and Tim Burton have done so many things together.
This is as much as they've done together. This is probably one that's on a different level. It's phenomenal. Just how great the music is, and it pertains to the story and things like that. This is a really well thought out film.
All right, what's your number 6 there? Unless you have anything else to say about Nightmare
Yeah.
Before Christmas? No, sorry.
I did most of the talking, and you were the one that had it so high.
I just love. I love the movie.
We already did my 5, which was Die Hard. So
Whoa,
so we
6,
move on
I
to you.
thought.
We just
5.
we just
Yeah,
did
you're
his
right. We did,
6,
yeah.
and because you had it earlier. So what's your 5?
My 5, we actually, I think we already talked. We did just talk about it. How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the originally animated. short.
Okay. What do you have at your 5?
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the claymation.
Already talked about it.
Yes.
All right,
Good
so we're
one.
going on to my 4,
Ooh wee.
which is Christmas Carol 1984, the one that you had lower.
Great. My favorite version of the movie.
It's my favorite version of the movie too. I watch it almost every year. I like to go see live action of it around plays and stuff of it around the Christmas time. But this is definitely my favorite version of it to watch. It's solid. I think it's George.
Casting is so good.
It's George C. Scott, right? Christmas Carol, 1984.
I feel like I've seen the original the old ass one as well.
And they are coming out. You see
The
that
series,
the
right?
series, but it's got Tom Hardy in it, so I'm on board.
Has Guy
I'll watch
Guy
it.
Pearce, I think, too.
Maybe I think so.
George C. Scott. Yeah.
Yeah, just spot on.
Who also
Casting.
played Patton. Great actor.
So
Again, a movie I haven't seen.
this is one. If you like just good movies, this is definitely one that's up there. I watch this every year.
Agreed. That's your number 4, right?
That's my number 4. What's your 4, Hooray?
Wait,
Bad Santa.
skipping me? I don't get to do my number 4?
Oh, I thought we already did your 4. What's your 4?
My 4 is Home Alone. which-
Okay, just stop. Higher. Go ahead.
Higher.
Go ahead.
How can it be
Go.
higher? It's
Go ahead.
Bad Santa.
Okay.
We talked about that already.
Yeah.
How can Home Alone? But you said it's within 3. We're within 3 of the top
yeah,
one.
Yeah, but when you're in the top, skip it. Higher. What do you got, Bad Santa?
Bad Santa. Just a great film. Again, hilarious. When I first watched it, I was like crying in the movie because of how funny it was. So.
I think you liked this film a lot more than I did.
No,
I
I
thought
had
it was
like
okay.
I had
What,
it
you guys
pretty
didn't
low.
li- you guys
I had
didn't
it
like
pretty-
that
I had it
movie?
as,
I thought
like-
it was just okay, dude.
Yeah.
The funniest part is when he's sitting in the thing and the kid comes up and he goes, "I'm on my fucking lunch break."
Yeah, I had
That's
it at,
probably
like,
the
22.
funniest line in the film.
Yeah, I had it pretty low. And I just saw it. You know what I did like is he fries up bologna. That's what.
Yeah.
And I fucking I've been on a fried bologna kick lately, so it was great. I saw that.
Yeah, I just think that this one it just didn't hit
Yeah.
for me. There were funny parts in it, but it's one that I can find
The
myself
kid is
drifting
just the kid with Billy Bob Thornton is just. Oh my god, it's just. a funny
Billy
movie.
Bob plays a good sleazeball. Let me tell you, it's almost
He's
as
a
if he
perfect-
may be a real life sleazeball.
in. Yeah. All right, so we're on to my 3.
Yep.
It's the last claymation one, A Year Without a Santa Claus.
Never seen it.
Oh,
Never seen it.
God
Not
damn.
on my list.
What?
Not on my list.
You guys have to watch it. It's with Miser Brothers. It's what happens. Santa gets sick on Christmas, and then the elves try and show him he gets sick, and he starts to get down on himself, and he doesn't think that people care about Christmas anymore. So it's about him. The elves go to show him the world.
I have seen this.
Yeah, it's super
Yes.
good, and then it's got the two brothers that basically are supposed to be the hemispheres, and they're fighting. It's just a good time. It makes me laugh, and there are some songs that in there that'll pull at your heartstrings. But it's one that I've watched since I was little, and this is probably the one that I can remember the most. So that's why it's so high for me. Oh, excuse me.
What? Did you
No.
skip one? That
Yeah,
was your three. You have two more.
No, I definitely skipped one.
What do you got?
Fred Claus. Yeah.
Is that
So
with
Fred
Tim Allen?
Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn,
Ah.
where his
Yeah.
brother's Santa Claus.
Oh.
So A Year Without a Santa Claus is my. Yeah, that would be my 3. So Fred Claus is my 4. We never did my 4.
Oh. So Fred Claus, and you said 3 was the A Year Without
a Santa Claus.
Okay.
So we're jumping back to my 4,
Okay.
which
Go for
I
it.
can edit.
It's not on my list.
Not on my list either.
Have you guys
I
ever
haven't seen
ever seen
No.
this
I
one?
don't think I've seen
Okay, so it's about it's basically the story of Santa Claus told through his brother's eyes. Like, what if Santa had a brother? And it's basically the story of everybody loves the one brother, but what about the other brother? And it's just Vince Vaughn doing his Vince Vaughn thing. It's got some really funny parts, great heartfelt moments in it. So that's why it's my 4. If you haven't seen it, I'd suggest watching it. It's got Elizabeth Banks in it.
Love Elizabeth Banks.
What's the dude that's in Pitch Perfect with her? John Michael Higgins.
Oh, Rachel.
Oh yeah.
Rachel Weisz is in
Weisz.
it.
Love
In a-
Rachel
in a
Weisz.
Bit part.
She's awesome.
Kathy Bates.
The Mummy.
Luca,
Yeah.
Great movie.
Kevin Spacey's
Kevin
in it.
Spacey. Well, that was a good
Yeah,
cast.
it's got a good cast.
Yeah, it's got a great cast. It's really, really good film. If you haven't seen it, watch it.
I'd watch it just because Rachel Weisz is in it.
It's a good film. All right, so we've already did
So you just did your 3.
my 3. So what's your 3?
My 3, I don't think anyone has seen unless you're my age. It's just simply called. I'm pretty sure it's just called Santa Claus. But there's no E, no E at the end, just Santa Claus. Yeah. Dudley Moore was in it. It was an 80s movie. Yeah, Santa Claus the movie. That's it. That's the one. 1985. Great. Santa Claus. Look at that Santa. You can't tell me that's not actual Santa Claus right there. That's actual Santa Claus. Dudley Moore was in it.
That's a pretty legit looking Santa.
Right?
Go down.
It's about as Santa as it gets, actually.
John Lithgow's
John
in it.
Lithgow's in it. Yeah, I was going to say, I was trying to think of anyone else that was like a big name in it. But yeah, Dudley Moore, John Lithgow, those are the only ones I remember. It's a weird, it's kind of like an original movie. It basically is about Dudley Moore as an elf. I forget what he does, but he messes something up or something along those lines, and like Santa gets a little bit upset, and he's like really upset, so he ends up leaving. And then John Lithgow is like an evil corporate guy, and he convinces Dudley Moore to like help him. He's like, "How do these reindeer fly? I want that technology or whatever." And so Dudley Moore helps him like steal it, but then he feels bad, and then like there's a couple of kids involved, a little boy and a little girl. They kind of get thrown into the mix, and it's great. And then the reindeer, they keep trying to do this move called the Super Duper Looper. Okay, and early on in the movie, they try to do it, but I can't remember one of the reindeer up front always gets scared, so they can't ever do the actual thing. But then, like at the end of the movie, spoiler alert. close to the end of the movie,
It's been a while. I think you can spoil
the
a
kid
movie that
falls
came out in
off
85.
of like they're flying and getting away, and like the kid like falls off the back, and they were like Santa's like, we got to do the super duper looper to save this kid, and he's like, come on guys, let's do it. And the one reindeer that's usually all scared, like, you know, buckles
Bucks
down
up and gets the job done.
They do it, and then all the other reindeer are so happy, like, yeah, way to go, like we totally did it, yeah. And I love it.
Not one that I've seen, so it wasn't on either of our lists.
Yeah.
But
It's a good one. I'm gonna watch it this year. I'm gonna rewatch it this year. I haven't
well, when
seen
you
it
do,
since
let me know. I'll watch
I haven't
it.
seen
with
it since I was a child, but it might not hold up. But it was great when I was a kid. I remember it every year.
you. All right, what's your 3?
My 3 is Home Alone 2.
Higher.
I had that.
Higher.
That's we actually we legit know what you're wanting to see.
I love
You have no
Home
idea.
Alone 2.
Hey, I said higher. We saved the conversation.
Oh my gosh. Okay, fine.
So now we're gonna go to my number 2,
Which is
Elf.
oh wow.
Oh, that's my number 2.
Looks like, and you've never seen
never
Elf.
seen it. I don't
and
hate
you love Will
it. I
Ferrell.
love Will Ferrell.
That's a
Take-
travesty.
Take Will Ferrell comedy, but make it super innocent, like a child, but still have that essence of his comedy.
But like
and
turn it up
it's
a notch.
Awesome. Zoe Deschanel's in it. She's great as the love interest, but just the him being an elf and he comes to New York
Right.
to find his
I've
father.
seen I kind of get the premise. I've seen bits and pieces of it. I just never have watched it.
But just the parts like when he's walking through the thing and she's offering passion fruit spray and he's like,
Oh.
"Ooh, fruit spray!"
And he
sprays
sprayed in his mouth.
the perfume in his mouth. It's so funny.
And then when he's in the department store and he meets the fake Santa.
Yes,
Oh
yes.
my
Oh,
god, that is
Dude, you will love Elf.
it
Elf
is hilarious.
I'm sure I will.
So underrated, but it is so
No,
good.
I feel like
It's so good.
everyone loves it. I don't think I would call it underrated. I think a lot. I think everyone. I don't
But
know
when it
anyone
came
that
out,
doesn't
it didn't
like
get a lot of. It was one of those that slid under the radar. Like people were like, and it's directed by Favreau. It's a Favreau movie,
I love him.
so it's just one of those that people are like, I don't know. And then once they saw it, they were like, this is
and then
classic.
it just turns into a classic.
Yeah, it's definitely
Christmas
a classic.
classic.
Definitely one that
I'll
that
watch it
needs
this
to be
year.
watched.
I'll make sure I watch it this year for sure.
And I feel like when you say a classic, it's like a generation before, not like
I'll say
Classic.
Not
it's probably a
released.
new classic.
right.
Modern
for-
classic.
But
Yeah,
I
modern
feel like
classic.
it
There we go.
became a Christmas classic, like almost
oh,
so
yeah.
quick.
I bet
Yeah,
20
yeah,
years
yeah.
from now. I bet 20 years from now, someone's gonna be making this list, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, Elf, that's classic."
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
It's
like
definitely a modern classic. I
Yeah.
would hands down.
Hands down.
What's your 2? Because that was both of our 2s.
My number 2, I think you had on your list earlier, Scrooged. I love that movie.
I love
Scrooged
Scrooged,
with
too.
Bill Murray.
That whole
I
end
love
dialogue scene
because
is
I like
all
the Christmas
improvised.
Carol story, and then they add comedy into it, and then again, it's one of those things where it's like you don't feel bad for him, then you start to feel bad, and you're like, no, he's kind of a piece of trash, and then like you're like it culminates with a like, this is so good, it's such a happy ending, basically.
You know that whole end dialogue scene is all improv from him, right?
I'm
that
not
was-
surprised by that.
That wasn't in the script.
Yeah, I'm
He-
not surprised by that at all.
So just for that scene alone, that's an amazing monologue for any movie. That's probably one of the top monologues that you'll ever see. And you're right. It takes the classic Christmas Carol story and breathes some new life into it, and it's definitely a classic Bill Murray
hilarious.
film. I love watching
Funny.
it.
That's one of the ones I try to watch every Christmas. Like I
Me
try
too.
to watch that.
Me too. Love
Maybe
it.
not-
I think I had it. Where did I have it? I had it lower because I had it 17, so it's
Right.
still in my top 10. But I knew it would probably be higher for one of you, and just because the '84 version is my favorite out of all the Christmas carols, that's why it got bumped for me. But I still watch that one every year as well.
it was lower on my list only because I've just seen it once, and it just
You need to rewatch
I
it.
need to.
It's-
I think I need
it's
to
really worth
rewatch it, and then
So funny.
I just
So
don't know.
good.
I just don't really know why I don't remember it.
Yeah,
So it's just I feel like it's just a movie I just need to rewatch.
it's great.
All right,
I can
so-
do a scene by scene if you want in that movie. I've seen it so many times.
So now we're here.
Now we're
Num-
here.
Number one.
We started at the bottom.
Home Alone.
Now we're here.
I used my cheat for my number one. Home Alone 1 and 2 combined as one movie because I watch them back to back.
It's just
I watch
it is
them
the quintessential Christmas movie for me.
Correct. It's everything that I want. It's funny. It's got
That's your number one?
That's my number one.
the first one is your number one.
The first
or
one.
Or are
The-
you
it-
doing
the-
like I am and
Well,
combining both?
Home Alone 2 is my 3.
Home
Elf-
Alone 2 was your
I thought
three.
Elf was better
Okay.
than Home Alone 2.
Oh, I
in-
love
in
them
my
both.
opinion.
I consider them one movie. So like my dad makes us watch A Christmas Story every year. My kids are going to be watching Home Alone 1 right into Home Alone 2 right after because I love these movies. I quote them all the time. I think it's probably because I was growing up. So when he goes into Buzz's room and he starts going through his stuff, that Jordan standout. I remember wanting that. I remember Jordan was the big thing. The BB gun that he uses, the action figures that he shoots, all the stuff that he uses to get Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern with. It's just it reminded me so much of what I could have been that in the right situation that could have been me as a child, a serial killer murderer.
An evil genius.
An evil genius.
A masochistic evil genius.
and just-
sadistic as hell.
But it's over the top, and it's something that was so worth watching. I mean, they're planning to remake Home Alone, and I don't think they can do it because of
No.
the climate that
Dude,
we're
have
in
you seen
now.
Home
No
Alone
one can
3?
replace Macaulay Culkin. I'm sorry.
Have you seen Home Alone 4? Have you seen Home Alone 5? Have you seen Home Alone 6? Because I have.
I've seen Home Alone 3, and
They
that's the
make
only.
that many Home Alones.
Yeah.
Ew.
There's Home Alone 3.
Home
Where
Alone
he's
3
sick.
wasn't bad.
They stopped after 2.
Yeah, in my mind, they stopped
Yeah,
after
they
2.
did,
But then
but I
they
watched
did,
it.
But they did 4 where he has like a smart house.
Awful.
And
Wasn't good.
Sounds dumb.
they had another one after that. And then
I
they-
didn't even watch
There,
them.
man. I had it at number 4. Like I liked it.
Yeah.
But I think I think that my top 3 are movies that are a little more like emotional. Like Home Alone to me is nostalgic, but it doesn't tug at my heartstrings. It doesn't like I'm not fighting tears at the end. You know, I'm not like at the end being like, damn man, like that was it's gonna make me cry.
I can at some points, like
Um,
at the point where he's talking to the old man and telling him, like, hey, I know you had a fight with your son, but if you don't call him, you'll never know.
Right.
Right.
That's
So that
true.
there are some really heartfelt moments in
Right.
it, and you get that, but then you also get here's laugh out loud, balls to the wall comedy. It's Joe Pesci being silly, but still being a force that you could be like, yeah, that's a scary dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. They do a great job with the acting in this film.
Stick
Like-
bandits, the wet bandits.
The kids, just Kevin himself, Macaulay Culkin, just great acting.
Kevin McAllister. Well, my number 1, I think we briefly talked about because you had it lower on your list, and everyone knows it's my favorite. Anyone that knows me like real well knows that my favorite Christmas movie of all time. It's A Wonderful Life.
I had it at my 9 for you.
It's just one of those that the entire movie, I'm like trying not to get choked up. And because it's the entire movie, I know everything that's going on, and it's one of those where there's character growth, but it's almost not even character growth. Where it's like you feel so sorry for this guy, like you feel so bad for him. Like it's you, and it's for me at least. Like I felt for him, like from the start of the movie, like, oh, what a good kid, what a good kid. I hope good things happen. I hope good things happen. And you're like, shitty thing after like horrible thing after horrible thing after horrible thing happens, and he still stays positive and still stays like a good family man and still like does what he can, does whatever he can to help so many other people. And even though he does so many good things, like he literally gets to the point where he is going to kill himself. Like, and then
Spoiler alert, dude.
like, and then the whole revelation at the end, and like it's the like.
So do you watch this in
Hey.
black and white, or do you watch the colorized version?
So I actually have already watched it this holiday season, and I watched the colorized version for the first time ever.
Okay,
I've
so
always
which
watched
one-
black and white.
So which one would you prefer?
Black and white.
Black and white. Okay,
Yes.
So that'll be the one that I watch.
I do prefer the black and white version. It makes it older. Like, it makes it feel like older, and like you relate more to the times of when the movie is taking place
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
when it's in black and white, as opposed to. I mean, the color version is fine. It's literally like they did a good job on it. It's the same exact movie but with color. But I've seen the black and white version so many times. I've seen the play done by multiple different like groups and schools and theaters. Like, I absolutely love the story. Love it. I'm a 37-year-old grown man. I don't consider myself a pansy or a softie. I mean, I'm not a badass or anything. I cry every single time I watch this movie from beginning to end. Like, there is at least one point in this movie that I cry every single time I watch it, and I watch it every year. And like, if it doesn't happen before the end, I'm getting choked up just thinking about the last scene in the movie. Just knowing what the last scene is in the movie, it like gets me choked up every time. I love it. Favorite Christmas movie.
All right, so now we're getting ready to put this list together for you. This is not a 25 best of. It is just 25 movies to watch this year. But we all decided that the top 10 would probably be closer to our top 10 Christmas movies, and that's what it seemed to come out to be. But this is just a list for if you're looking for a Christmas movie to watch and you wanted to do like the 25 Days of Christmas like they do on, I think it's ABC that does that. This is our version of that, so this is what we suggest. But now we're getting ready to get into it. We're getting ready to argue it out. So we'll start from number one and go down. It seems that me and Ray both think that Home Alone, that's 2-1.
Easily.
I had it ranked really high up there too, so I'm not even going to argue
so are
against
you
that.
cool with that being-
Yeah.
In my opinion, Home Alone and Home Alone 2 are a must-watch Christmas movie
I mean,
for
I
me.
had,
So
Home
let's
Alone
put
was
that
high up.
on-
Home Alone 2
on the
I had
25th.
Okay, we'll put that at the
A
25th.
combo.
Combo.
Yeah,
Got it.
combo that.
combo.
Where did you had Elf on your list?
My 2.
Your 2. That was also my 2. So that seems like
I
a
haven't
lot.
seen it, but I will say that I'm totally okay with that as well.
Okay, so put that as a lock at number 2 as well.
Yeah.
Easy.
'Cause
We're doing
I'm
great
sure
on this
once
list,
I
guys.
see it, it's probably going to be higher. Like I said, I put it on my list even though I hadn't seen it because I know it's a good movie. I just haven't seen it.
Okay. What do you have at your 3?
I had Scrooged pretty high up there.
I have Scrooge pretty high.
I'm okay with putting it high.
I'm okay with putting it high because we got our first 2. So why don't we put Scrooge at 3?
Okay. So we're putting that as the 23rd as Scrooged.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your 3?
Bad Santa. No, I'm so sorry. Home Alone 2. That was
already on.
right.
Sorry, yeah,
Okay. So my 3 is A Year Without a Santa Claus.
My 3 was. I should probably put my glasses on. Read. There we go. Oh, Santa Claus, that classic old movie that no one had seen. I'm okay with that not making the list just because I don't know that it's really.
If it's going to hold up.
Well, I don't know that it's even accessible. I don't even know if it's on Netflix or
how
Prime
you can even
Videos
watch it
or
online.
anything. Yeah,
Okay.
Fair enough.
so I'm okay with that.
Ron,
Not
4.
4.
Ryan, what's your 4?
Well, we were on my 3.
No, but yeah. Well, yeah. What's your next on your list?
The next one on my list is Fred Claus,
Never seen it.
which neither of you saw. I highly think that one should be on the list somewhere. Not
So,
that
I was
high.
gonna-
I'd be
I'm
okay.
okay
I'd be
with
okay with it
Okay.
being down, but I would love to have that on the list somewhere.
I'm cool with that.
Where do you have Christmas Carol? 1984.
The 84 version of Christmas Carol.
Do you want to do a combo on that one?
Of what?
With
Scrooge?
with Scrooge, since it's
No.
the same, you want that one to be
I want
its separate
Christmas
thing?
Carol to be different.
Okay.
I have it as number 11.
And you don't have it, do you? So what do we do? We're in an
What
impasse.
did you call it?
That is my 4.
Let's go 11 plus 4.
So
15 divided by 3. Let's call it 5.
You want to put that at 5?
so on day 21, what are we having?
I don't think we decided yet.
We haven't decided. We're going to move that one down to.
Or bump maybe a little further down, but
Yeah, we're going to save that one for later. We're still trying to see. Is there any more commonality that's pretty high?
in the top, Gremlins. No, you guys had that pretty low.
Yeah, I had Gremlins.
I almost
Gremlins
want
was
to change
my
my mind
11.
on that. I want to put that higher on my list.
You want to put
Yeah.
Gremlins
Yeah,
higher?
I want to put Gremlins higher.
It's my number 9 right now.
I don't mind it being in the
Top 10.
Top 10.
top 10, but I
Okay.
wouldn't put it at 4.
What do you want to put for number 4?
I'm okay with putting that Fred Claus film there if you really want to.
I don't think we can put a number 4 movie that 2 of us have never seen.
Yeah, it's
Oh, that's
really
true.
hard
Okay,
to do
so it
that
has to
if
be
neither of you
okay,
have seen
Makes
that.
sense.
And I'd be okay with that one dropping a little bit. So why don't we go Die Hard at 4?
I'm okay with that.
I won't argue it.
Okay.
Yeah, Die
put
Hard
Die
is-
Hard at 4.
Die Hard was my 5, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's put Die Hard at
You guys
4.
both had that pretty high up there. So,
And then that gives us a little space between A Christmas Carol and Scrooge
so we're
as well.
calling 5 Christmas Carol, 84 version.
We can if you want.
5 is Christmas Carol?
You good with
Is-
that?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
You good? All right, let's do
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
So that leaves my 3, A Year Without a Santa Claus. I'm okay with that one dropping because neither of you have seen that one either.
I have seen it. I do. When you're talking about it, I have seen
Okay.
it. I just didn't remember
I feel
it.
if it's one of those older claymation films,
Yeah, it
I
is.
feel like I have seen it. It's
Right.
just something I don't remember.
I'm even fine with like those claymation films being kind of towards the 11, 12-ish range, but definitely one
Rudolph-
at least one within the top 10.
Rudolph
is
the
how-
Red-Nosed
however.
Reindeer was in my top 15.
Okay.
What was the highest rated one that you had?
The
That
Year Without
one.
a Santa Claus
Yeah.
was 3. It's probably my favorite out of them.
My highest claymation was Rudolph.
Rudolph.
Yeah. I had Rudolph.
Okay. So you guys want to put Rudolph at 5?
as like the teens, 6, I believe, actually.
6, because we have Die Hard at 5, right?
Yeah,
No,
we have Die Hard at
was-
5.
So you want to put Rudolph at 6?
Wait,
Six.
Die Hard's 4.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Die Hard
Die Hard's 4. 5 was Christmas Carol.
Okay, so
Rudolph
we're on
at
6.
6.
Rudolph the claymation at 6. I'm
Yeah,
good with that.
I'm good with that. Your number 1 hasn't made it on there, so I would even think that we should bump because his number 1 hasn't made it.
That's
A
all right.
Wonderful Life?
Yeah, but I mean, you didn't have it very high up, and he's
Because
never
I've never
it.
seen it, but
right.
it's
So
it's one that it's still your number 1. It should,
I feel
it
like we
be
should add
high.
it since we're,
Yeah,
we're
it should
throwing
be
films
high.
out, and so we might have spaces that
Yeah,
we should
yeah.
just include. So,
I think it should still be high. It was
Yeah.
your number 1 film.
It is my number 1 film.
so A Wonderful Life.
What are we on at 7?
We're at 7. Yeah.
It's A Wonderful Life
Okay,
with
I'm-
Jimmy
I'm-
Stewart.
I'm cool with that. I'm sure that one will jump next year when we do this.
Wait, did we say Gremlins? What did we decide
We did.
on
We
that?
put. Oh no, we haven't put Gremlins
We
yet.
haven't put Gremlins.
I'm okay with putting it now.
But you're saying Gremlins is top 10 for you.
Yeah,
it's in
top
my
10 for
top
me for
10. Where
sure.
was
It's
it for
my
you?
11, so I'm cool with it making top 10.
So
That's cool.
10, 9.
What are we on now?
7. I'm cool with putting it at like 9.
Wait, I thought we had 7. It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah. Yeah, we're at 7 right now.
So then 8.
So
You're
then,
gonna put it at 8.
What?
so then,
Yeah, we can do that.
Wonderful Life is at 7.
Gremlins.
So now we're discussing 8. I'm cool with it going at 8.
I'm
if
cool
you
with
guys,
Gremlins going 8.
Okay.
I had it as 9. You had it as top 10. You had it as 11.
I had it as 11.
It was my 13th film.
That's
so.
okay.
I
yeah.
tried to squeeze it in, but I squeezed the claymation ones. I had all 3 of the claymation ones in my
I'll
top.
put Gremlins at.
I'm totally okay with that making.
Okay.
So just some other stuff that's in my top 10.
I have a Christmas Story that hasn't made it.
Mine was Nightmare Before Christmas. So, but
You guys-
that was lower on
You
everyone
guys
else's
both
list.
like The Nightmare Before Christmas, I thought.
But it's
I
not
have-
as high on
I
Ryan's.
have it. It's
Yeah, it's pretty low on
yeah,
mine.
it's number 3 from the bottom. I
Yeah,
have that
that's
playing on
pretty
the
much where
3rd,
I have
which
it,
is
actually.
low because I consider it more of a Halloween
Yeah.
movie. So I'm okay with it making the list, but that would be
maybe like top 20.
that would be bottom of the list. For
All right, so what are we thinking for the next movie here?
17.
17.
17th of December.
Polar Express. You guys loved Polar Express.
I hated Polar
He
Express.
didn't like it. I had it pretty high on my list, though.
Same with
What
me.
was it on your list, Ray?
14.
Yeah, I had it 8.
It didn't even make my list.
Let's call that 12 and save it for later.
Yeah. 12 for Polar Express.
Maybe
Or we
lower.
could just-
We'll see.
You mean putting it on the 12th
No, I meant like
or saving it for later down
Saving it
this
for a
list?
later
Yeah, we're gonna save it for later.
Yeah,
down
that's
the-
fine with me. I'm okay with it
What's-
making the list.
what's
Well, Christmas Story was on everyone's list, wasn't it?
Christmas Story was on everyone's list, so I think that it should go on.
What do you think,
I'm cool with it going on 17.
Ray? What do you think? You haven't seen A Christmas Story all the way through.
Right.
That's what you said.
but I'm okay with putting it now.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah,
That's pretty.
drop
It
it.
should be pretty high up there. Yeah. What else do I have pretty high up there that was on other people's lists?
Frosty, where did you have Frosty?
I had Frosty a little bit lower. I had Frosty at like 18, but that's like 18 from the bottom. Or, excuse me, 18's from the top, as in like 7 from the bottom.
Okay.
But I'm okay with that being up, because like I said, it's not that I didn't like it, is that I thought I would never watch it again, and it was, you know, it was more for nostalgia.
Okay.
But I think that was on Ray's list too, right?
Would you watch A Year Without a Santa Claus before Frosty or Frosty over that?
I don't even remember that, and I didn't remember that movie until you mentioned it. So I would say Frosty, in all honesty.
Okay.
Sorry, say that again.
Frosty the Snowman,
The claymation one.
animation.
No, it's animation.
one. Oh yeah, that was on my list. I had it at 17.
So it's on everybody's
It's on
list.
everyone's list.
You want to throw it on there? At
Frosty.
16?
Yeah.
All right. Frosty.
Keep it frosty. Keep it frosty. Jack Frost.
I think didn't everyone have Miracle on 34th Street?
Everyone did have Miracle.
I have it on like I have it as like 17, but it is on my list.
It was on my list, but it was my very first movie.
Yeah,
Okay,
mine's
so barely
mine's-
major list.
Yeah, mine's really low too.
Okay,
I would
maybe
put
save that for later.
Yeah.
I would say put Fred Claus at 15. As it's one that you guys said
Is
you
it
would
K?
both watch, right?
No, just yeah.
Like Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like that.
Klaus.
Klaus. Jingle all the way.
I had that on my list.
Yeah,
He did. I didn't see it, but I have nothing against it.
I'm okay with putting it here.
Wait,
Because it was higher on my list.
did we do Bad Santa? Or that was pretty.
You
It
had
was,
bad.
it was the only one
you had bad
it kind
Santa
of high up,
though.
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Did
What was
you?
bad Santa for you?
for, but that was because.
But still, that's high on the list, and
Would
it
you
hasn't
have
made
it?
the list yet. I didn't have it on my list
Okay.
because I knew you guys would have it, and I liked bits and pieces of it. But
I'll
I'm okay with it
Yeah, throw it up there.
going right there.
Yeah.
Where
it
did
just-
you have your Grinch?
oh, great.
I had how the
You both
Grinch
had
Stole
Grinch high, right?
Christmas. I had it pretty. I had it 5 actually.
Okay,
My Grinch was at 16.
but his is still high.
Yeah,
so
mine
put
was in my
Grinch
top.
next. Harold and Kumar, is that cool?
Yeah.
We all had Christmas Vacation, right?
I did. I had it really.
It wasn't on
low.
my list.
I had it pretty low. Oh wait, what was something that we said we were coming back to? We only have 11 more days to go. Miracle on 34th Street, right?
Oh yeah, I'm cool with that.
Because everyone had that on their list. I had it in the mid-teens, right? What did
Yeah.
you have that at, Ray?
Say that again.
I had mine at on
Miracle
the 7th,
on 34th.
That was my very first.
Oh, you had it really
and I
low.
had
It was super
I had
low.
it at the 7th.
I had it in the teens. I think that's a
Yeah,
fair
I think
spot
that's a
for
good
it.
spot for it. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, this smell of this food is killing me right now. Every breath I take, I'm smelling more and more of this
Why don't
burger.
we put Miracle at 11? Then that's
Yeah.
I'm cool
Yeah.
with that because it's kind of in the middle of splitting the difference.
All right. Polar Express is another one we all kind of said we would come back to. I had it relatively high.
Wasn't on my list,
Wasn't on your list.
but I
He had
said
it low.
I'm good with it making the list.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I mean that was in my top 10 actually.
Yeah, so I'm cool with Polar going there.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I like this movie a lot. How do we feel about
Christmas Story already make it? Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got to get the Santa Claus on there for my wife. We all had that, right? It's Tim Allen. You
Yeah.
had Christmas, or
But
that's
the
with the
Santa
clay.
Claus.
No. It's CLA with an E. It's with an E at the end.
Yeah. Okay.
What were you saying, Ray?
Nightmare Before Christmas.
I mean, it was on all of our lists.
Where'd you have it?
I had it second to last, so I had it pretty
Okay.
low.
Where'd you have
But
it?
he had
It was my
high.
6.
Yeah, he had it pretty high up there.
Your 6. I had it at.
I had it at like 24.
Yeah, I had it pretty low on my list. So I say it makes the list, but I
Lower.
probably a little bit lower.
Okay.
Where'd you have Jingle All the Way again?
I didn't see it.
Jingle All the Way for me was 12. So it's pretty high.
I had mine at 8.
Oh, that should definitely go on there at this point then.
Yeah, you
Jingle
cool
All
with
the
it going at 8?
Yeah, I haven't seen it,
Okay.
but you guys both had it pretty high up there.
We all had Christmas Vacation, right?
He did not.
No.
I had it low.
Put that now.
How low?
I had it at 20.
I feel like that's a good spot to put it.
I had it at 9, so I'm cool with it going. My 3 still isn't on there.
What's your 3?
Year Without a Santa Claus. I'd
Put
be
it
cool
up
with that.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that takes care of all that.
Bottom 5.
Now it's basically if we have commonality. we
Nightmare
throw it
Before
on there.
Christmas was on everyone's list. That's got to count for something.
Okay, so put that there.
And then Christmas we did Christmas Vacation already.
I actually really like this list.
Rise of the Guardians.
I'm cool with putting that
I
on.
had
here.
that
I-
a little higher up, but
Sure, go ahead, put it
Yeah.
on there. It's not on my list, but it'll be one that
I want to watch that actually.
I'll
tonight.
watch it.
Is
So.
that's a Disney film, no?
no,
No,
Pixar
I don't
or
think
just
so.
I
animation
don't think so.
or
It's,
Yeah.
Illumination?
Let me look it up.
Some other studio.
do you have Batman on your list?
Batman Returns. Yeah, but it was super low.
So was mine. Did you? You didn't have Batman on yours because you didn't
I
like
did
it.
not. I didn't enjoy it, but you guys both had it on your list, and this is pretty low on there.
Cool.
I'm okay with
Okay.
that.
What was everyone's first? What was your first, Matt?
Like
you-
my worst movie,
Yeah.
it's
Hey,
already on there. It was
Oh, Die Hard. Right.
For number 1, do you want to throw one of the 2 new movies that are coming out on
Last
there?
Christmas.
Or no?
Yeah,
Last Christmas or Black Christmas?
Black Christmas. I want to go with Black Christmas.
Black Christmas.
Black Christmas, unanimous.
Yeah.
All right, so we have one movie to.
Not that I
It's
don't
another- it's
like
another horror
Emilia
movie.
Clarke or anything like that. I just feel like Black Christmas would be a better
I
go
think
see
it'll
movie.
be
Yeah.
more enjoyable.
Yeah.
All right.
We have
Any
one
other
more.
common ones we had?
The Santa Claus on there.
Yeah.
Black Christmas. Muppet Christmas Carol. I have at 11.
I do like that, but I really have a Christmas Carol. on.
Christmas
yeah,
with
we've
the
got
Cranks.
2 of them.
Christmas with the
Where's
Cranks,
your
you guys
Christmas with the
both love
Cranks?
that.
That's
Yeah,
high.
that was high for me. That was 7.
You guys both like that.
Throw that one on there.
Yeah.
Boom. List is done.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the one.